You wake up every day with the feeling that you could be more, do more, achieve more, but something invisible paralyzes you. It's not laziness. It's not lack of opportunity. It's fear. Fear disguised as prudence, as planning, as "I'm not ready yet." And while you wait for the perfect moment, life slips through your fingers like fine sand. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest samurai Japan has ever known, said something that should be engraved in your mind. A man can defeat 1,000 enemies in battle and still be defeated by his own fear. He understood this early, after facing more than 60 mortal duels and never losing a single one. Have you ever experienced this? That feeling of being stuck, knowing exactly what you need to do, but unable to take the first step. The truth is harsh but necessary. You don't need more information. You need transformation. And that's exactly what the Japanese philosophy of the great warriors can deliver to you, not empty motivational speeches that make you feel good for 5 minutes, but principles sharp as a katana blade, capable of cutting your excuses at the root. Musashi didn't win because he was the physically strongest. He won because he mastered the art of conquering himself first. While his adversaries trained techniques, he trained his mind. While they sought approval, he sought mastery. And while they feared death, he accepted it as part of the path. Stay with me until the end of this video, because you're going to learn 7 lessons that aren't theory. They're sharp blades against everything that stops you from taking action. I won't promise you instant happiness or overnight success. I'm going to show you the path the samurai walked: brutal discipline, unshakable focus, and courage to face what most people avoid. These lessons were forged on the battlefield, where hesitation meant death and doubt was a luxury no one could afford. And what's most interesting, they work today, in your daily life, in your modern challenges, with the same lethal precision. What you're about to discover may surprise you because it goes against everything current society preaches. While the world sells you comfort, Musashi offers you confrontation. While social media encourages you to seek external validation, samurai philosophy teaches you to build an unshakable, internal foundation. You'll understand why most people live on autopilot, reacting to life instead of creating it, and how Japanese warriors developed a mental system so powerful that it has lasted centuries and remains more relevant than ever. Each lesson I'm going to share with you is a direct challenge to your comfort zone. It's not about feeling good, it's about becoming strong. It's not about avoiding suffering, it's about using it as fuel. And above all, it's not about waiting until you're ready, because as Musashi himself wrote, you will never be truly ready. Be willing. That's the first cut into your weakness. Are you prepared for the next 6? Before we continue, I need to ask you a question, and I want you to answer with complete honesty in the comments. What is the fear that most paralyzes you at this moment in your life? It could be fear of failure, of being judged, of not being good enough, of starting something new. Whatever it is, write it down below. There's no need for shame, because everyone watching this right now faces some kind of internal battle. And you know what's incredible? When you put it into words, when you externalize what holds you back, you're already taking the first step to free yourself. Musashi said that naming the enemy is half the victory. So go ahead, comment now. I read all the comments, and this exchange of energy down here is what transforms this video from simple content into a community of people who truly want to evolve. And since we're talking about evolution, if you've made it this far and still haven't liked this video, do it now. It may seem like a small gesture, but you have no idea the impact it has. When you like it, YouTube understands that this content is relevant and starts showing it to more people who also need to hear these lessons. It's literally free and takes less than a second, but it makes all the difference so that the samurai message reaches those who really need it. So leave your like now, because your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people with this type of transformative content. And if you want to continue evolving your mind with content like this, subscribe to the channel now. Here you won't find superficial content or fast food motivation that passes in 5 minutes. What I bring are deep principles, tested over centuries, that really work for those willing to apply them. Every week there's a new video with powerful philosophies, mental strategies, and practical lessons you can use immediately in your life. So click the subscribe button and activate the bell, because you won't want to miss what's coming. Now yes, let's get to what really matters. Let's dive into Musashi's 7 lessons that will cut your excuses at the root, starting with the most fundamental of all. Lesson 1. Discipline doesn't depend on motivation. The first blade that will cut your weakness is this: discipline has nothing to do with motivation. Nothing. Zero. And this is probably the most dangerous lie you believe without questioning. You wake up some days feeling invincible, ready to conquer the world, and on those days you act. But most of the time you wake up tired, without energy, without desire, and then you wait. You wait for motivation to arrive. You wait to feel inspired. You wait to be in the right mood. And while you wait, life passes by. Musashi understood something that most people will never understand. Motivation is emotion, and emotion oscillates like ocean waves. Some days it's there, strong and powerful. Some days it simply disappears, and if you depend on it to act, you're building your life on quicksand. The inconvenient truth is that Musashi trained every day. On good days, when he was strong and confident, he trained. On bad days, when he was exhausted, injured, doubting himself, he trained even more. Because discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you decide. It's a decision that doesn't negotiate with your mood, doesn't ask permission from your emotions, doesn't wait for you to be ready. Musashi fought mortal duels before feeling prepared. He didn't wait for courage to appear. He acted despite fear. He didn't wait for inspiration to knock on the door. He simply picked up the sword and trained. And it's exactly why he won more than 60 combats without losing any. Not because he was always the most motivated, but because he was always the most disciplined. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because here's the direct connection to your modern life. You wait for willingness. You wait to be in the perfect mental state to start that project, to go train, to make the difficult call, to make the important decision. But the warrior acts without asking permission from mood. He understands that action generates motivation, not the other way around. When you act even without desire, when you do what needs to be done regardless of how you feel, something powerful happens. You break the procrastination cycle and build an internal foundation that no one can destroy. This is real transformation. This is the hidden truth that separates those who move forward from those who stand still waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. If this lesson made sense to you, comment, "Discipline is decision." I want to see who really understood this. Lesson 2. Face fear. Head on, don't avoid it. The second blade cuts even deeper, and this one will hurt. You don't have a capacity problem, you have a courage problem. And the difference between these two things is brutal. Musashi did something that seems crazy to the modern mentality. He chose opponents stronger than himself on purpose, not out of arrogance, not out of blind pride, but because he understood a principle that most people spend their entire lives running from. Fear doesn't disappear when you avoid it. It grows, it multiplies, it transforms into an invisible monster that controls every decision you make without you even realizing it. Every time you dodge a difficult conversation, every time you postpone that important call, every time you choose the easier path, because the other one scares you. You're literally training your own cowardice. Think about it. How many times have you already stopped doing something you knew you needed to do simply because you were afraid? Fear of failing, fear of being rejected, fear of looking ridiculous, fear of not being good enough. And what happened afterward? Did the fear pass? Of course not. It stayed there, waiting, growing, gaining power over you. The Japanese samurai philosophy teaches something revolutionary. Fear dissolves with exposure. Not with positive thinking, not with affirmations in the mirror, not with more planning, with direct action, face to face, eye to eye, with what terrifies you. Musashi transformed each duel into psychological training. He didn't fight just to defeat the opponent in front of him. He fought to defeat the opponent within him. And each external victory was just the reflection of an internal battle already won. The hidden truth no one tells you is this: the man who avoids fear trains his own cowardice. Every time you back down, you're sending a powerful message to your brain. I'm not capable of dealing with this. And the brain believes it. It learns. And the next time something difficult appears, it will give you even more fear, even more anxiety, even more reasons to back down. It's a vicious cycle that transforms people with immense potential into prisoners of their own imaginary limitations. But when you do the opposite, when you take a step toward what scares you, something magical happens. Fear loses strength. It doesn't completely disappear, but you realize you can act even with it present. And that's the journey of real transformation. Comment: I choose courage. I want to see who's really willing to face it. Now, before we continue with the next lessons, I need to tell you something. If what you've heard so far made sense, if you really want to apply these principles practically and directly in your life, I've prepared supplementary material that can help you a lot on this journey. It's The Path of Japanese Discipline, a guide that goes far beyond theory. It was created precisely to transform your ordinary mind into a disciplined, focused, and unshakable mind, capable of acting every day, even when motivation fails, even when fatigue weighs heavy, and even when no one is watching. This ancestral method teaches you how to truly eliminate procrastination, how to master unstable emotions that sabotage you, and how to build that silent consistency that shapes true winners. It's not about fleeting enthusiasm that lasts 2 days, but about developing the mental power that sustains permanent results. There are already more than 1 million copies that have reached the hands of people who are exactly where you are now and who decided to take the next step. If it makes sense to you, take a look at the material I left here below in the description. This content could be taken down at any moment, so if it's useful to you, take advantage while it's still available. I might take it down in the next few days, because this material is something I want to keep restricted to those who are really committed to their own transformation. Be part of this journey too. Now let's continue, because we still have 5 powerful lessons ahead, and the next one will show you something Musashi did that goes against everything you learned about planning. Lesson 3. Simplicity is raw power. The third lesson will completely destroy the idea that you need more things to have more results. Musashi lived most of his life with almost nothing. He radically rejected luxury, vanity, and excess. He didn't wear elaborate clothes, didn't accumulate possessions, didn't seek status or social approval. And before you think this was poverty or limitation, understand, it was pure strategy. Musashi discovered something that modern society hides from you at all costs. The simpler your life, the more energy remains for what really matters. Each object you accumulate steals a piece of your attention. Each distraction you allow steals a fragment of your focus. Each unnecessary commitment steals a part of your vital force. And in the end, you're so busy managing the excess that nothing remains to create, to act, to conquer. The Japanese samurai philosophy teaches that a clean mind generates precise action. When you eliminate noise, when you cut everything that doesn't serve, what remains is absolute clarity. Musashi didn't waste time choosing what to wear, didn't spend energy thinking about how to impress others, didn't get distracted with empty conversations or purposeless entertainment. All his energy was channeled into one thing: mastery. And it's exactly why he became unbeatable. While his adversaries were scattered, worried about appearances, about others' opinions, about 1,000 things at once, Musashi was completely present, totally focused, absolutely lethal. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because here's the truth no one wants to hear. You're sabotaging yourself with excess. Excess information, excess options, excess commitments, excess stimuli. You wake up and the first thing you do is check your phone, social media, news, messages, emails. Before even starting the day, your mind is already fragmented in 50 different directions. You think you're connected, but you're actually dispersed. You think you're productive, but you're actually busy with things that don't move the needle. Excess weakens focus. This isn't opinion, it's mental physics. Your attention is a finite resource, and every time you allow it to be pulled in multiple directions, you dilute your power. Real transformation begins when you understand that less is more. Cut distractions, cut excuses, cut the superfluous. What remains is raw, pure, concentrated power. Comment: less is more. I want to see who's ready to simplify. Lesson 4. Master yourself before mastering the world. The fourth lesson is probably the most difficult of all because it directly attacks your ego. Musashi spent his entire life fighting external adversaries, but he knew a brutal truth. The greatest enemy was never outside. It was inside. It always was. You can win 1,000 battles out there and still be a slave to your own internal weaknesses. You can conquer success, money, recognition, and still be defeated by anger, impatience, arrogance, lack of control. The Japanese samurai philosophy was clear on this point. Self-control is not optional, it's fundamental. Without it, you're just a time bomb waiting to explode at the most critical moment. Think about how many times you've already sabotaged yourself. How many times you reacted on impulse and regretted it later. How many times your ego spoke louder than your reason and you made a stupid decision that cost dearly. How many times you let anger, anxiety, or frustration command your actions and destroyed in minutes what took you months to build. This isn't character weakness, it's lack of internal mastery. And the difference between someone who achieves consistent results and someone who lives on an emotional roller coaster is exactly this. Whoever masters themselves masters circumstances. Whoever doesn't govern themselves will be governed by emotions, by impulses, by others' opinions, by external circumstances. You become a drifting boat, reacting to everything, controlling nothing. Musashi trained self-control with the same discipline he trained the sword. He understood that ego sabotages decisions. When you act from ego, you act to prove something, to impress someone, to feed an image. And these are the worst possible reasons to make any important decision. Ego makes you accept challenges you should refuse, makes you refuse opportunities out of silly pride, makes you speak when you should be silent and be silent when you should speak. It's an internal tyrant that hijacks your rationality and puts you in unnecessary situations. Moreover, impulses break consistency. You can have all the strategy in the world, but if you don't have control over your impulses, you'll break the diet, you'll break the workout, you'll break the commitment, you'll break your word. And each time you break, you weaken your own internal authority. Your brain learns that your decisions are worthless, that you don't fulfill what you promise yourself. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject because self-control wins invisible battles that no one sees but that determine everything. The battle against procrastination, against distraction, against discouragement, against mental laziness. These are the real wars, and you're fighting all of them every day, whether you want to or not. Comment: I govern myself. Only those who truly understood will write this. Lesson 5. Consistency beats talent. The fifth lesson will knock down another dangerous illusion you carry, the idea that talent is what separates winners from losers. Musashi wasn't the most talented samurai in Japan. He wasn't born with supernatural abilities. He didn't have noble lineage, didn't have the best masters, didn't grow up in ideal conditions. What he had was something much more powerful and much rarer: absolute consistency. While other samurai trained when they were inspired, Musashi trained every day. While others depended on motivation peaks, he built through small daily actions that no one saw, but that accumulated silent power. The difference wasn't in the gift, it was in the relentless repetition. The hidden truth no one wants to accept is this: talent without discipline becomes frustration. You know brilliant people who never got anywhere, people with immense potential who live complaining about life, people who could be great but aren't, because talent alone doesn't build anything. Talent gives you an initial advantage, but consistency gives you final victory. Musashi understood that real evolution is invisible. It doesn't happen in the big moments. It happens backstage, when no one is watching, when there's no audience, when there's no recognition. It happens in training even when tired, in repetition even without visible progress, in persistence even when it seems nothing is changing. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject because here's the direct connection to your journey. You've probably already started several things in life: gym, personal project, new habit, new skill. And you started well, with energy, with excitement. But after a few weeks, when the novelty passed, when progress got slow, when no one was applauding you anymore, you stopped. And then you look at those who achieved what you wanted and think, that person has talent, I don't. Lie. That person had consistency, you didn't. They continued when it got difficult, when it got boring, when it became invisible. And it's exactly in those moments that real transformation happens. Not on glorious days, but on ordinary days. Not when you're inspired, but when you're exhausted and decide to act anyway. Japanese philosophy calls this kaizen, continuous improvement. Not giant leaps, but small, unstoppable steps, 1% better each day, imperceptible in the short term, devastating in the long term. Musashi won because when others gave up, he remained. When others looked for shortcuts, he continued on the long path. When others celebrated early victories, he kept his head down and kept training. Comment: consistency is my weapon. Leave it registered down here. Lesson 6. Accept pain as part of the path. The sixth lesson is the one that bothers most because it goes against everything modern society has taught you. Musashi didn't seek comfort. He slept poorly, ate little, trained in the cold, in the heat, in the rain, in absolute discomfort. And this wasn't masochism. It was preparation. He understood something you need to engrave deeply. Pain is not a sign of failure. Pain is a sign of refinement. When you feel pain in training, your muscles are being rebuilt stronger. When you feel emotional pain facing your fears, your mind is being forged more resilient. When you feel the pain of discipline, your character is being sculpted more solid. Pain is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. And every time you run from it, you're running from your best version. The truth no one wants to accept is this: comfort creates weak men. Not just physically weak, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually weak. When you have everything easy, when everything is convenient, when nothing challenges you, you don't grow. You stagnate. You rot inside while life passes by. The Japanese samurai philosophy embraced discomfort as a teacher. Musashi knew that each difficult moment was an opportunity to become stronger, more prepared, more capable. While other warriors sought luxury and ease after victories, he kept life simple and hard, because he knew the next battle was always coming. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because here's the direct impact on your life. You constantly run from pain. When training gets difficult, you stop. When diet requires sacrifice, you break it. When work requires extra effort, you look for excuses. When a conversation is going to be uncomfortable, you avoid it. And each time you do this, you're choosing to remain weak. You're saying, I prefer temporary comfort to permanent transformation. But the problem is that life doesn't negotiate. It will put you in difficult situations whether you want it or not. And when that happens, if you've spent your entire life avoiding discomfort, you'll break, you'll panic, you'll crumble. Because you didn't train for pain, you trained for escape. Musashi trained precisely for this. He deliberately put himself in extreme situations so that when the real situation arrived, he would be ready. Not surprised, not scared, not unprepared. Ready. And that's the brutal difference between those who conquer and those who dream. Those who conquer accept that the path hurts, accept that there will be hunger, fatigue, frustration, rejection, failure, and they walk anyway. If you run from pain, you run from your best version. Simple as that. Comment: I accept the pain of growth. I want to see who's really willing. Lesson 7. Live as if there were no second chance. The seventh and final lesson is the most powerful of all, because it completely changes how you view each day of your life. Musashi fought as someone who had already accepted death. Each duel was treated as if it were the last. There was no room for distraction, for hesitation, for leave it for later. When you're face to face with the real possibility of death, something magical happens. You become completely present. You're not thinking about the past, you're not worried about the future. You're there, in that moment, with all your attention, with all your energy, with all your life concentrated in a single point. And it's exactly this total presence that eliminates procrastination. When you understand you have no guarantee of tomorrow, you act today. The Japanese samurai philosophy had a concept called memento mori, the constant reminder of death. It wasn't pessimism, it was brutal realism. You're going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone you know is going to die. And no one knows when. It could be 50 years from now, it could be tomorrow. This isn't a truth to depress you. It's a truth to free you. Because when you accept that the end is inevitable and unpredictable, you stop living as if you had infinite time. You stop postponing your dreams, delaying your decisions, waiting for the perfect moment that will never come. Those who accept the end live with intensity. Don't waste days on things that don't matter. Don't spend energy with people who don't add value. Don't postpone what really matters out of fear or complacency. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because here's the harshest revelation. You're living as if You were immortal. You act as if you had decades ahead guaranteed. You leave for Monday what you should do today. You postpone that important conversation, that project, that necessary change, that courageous decision. And meanwhile, the days pass. Weeks become months. Months become years. And when you look back, you realize you spent your entire life waiting to start really living. Musashi didn't make this mistake. Each day was lived with urgency, with purpose, with maximum intensity. Not because he was anxious, but because he was awake to reality. Urgency creates presence. When you act with healthy urgency, you're not rushed or desperate, you're simply aware that this moment is all you have. And this changes everything. It changes how you work, how you love, how you speak, how you choose. You stop saving your best clothes for special occasions and understand that today is the special occasion. You stop saving your energy for later and give everything now. Comment: today is my chance. Leave this mark here, the warrior's path. Now that you know the 7 lessons, I need to tell you something essential about what Musashi really left for the world. He didn't leave secret techniques. He didn't leave magic formulas. He didn't leave shortcuts. Miyamoto Musashi left a path. And this path isn't about becoming a literal samurai. It's about becoming the strongest, most disciplined, most integral version of yourself. Japanese philosophy calls this do the way. It's not a destination you reach and that's it. Finished. It's a continuous, daily, relentless journey. It's waking up every day and choosing to be better than yesterday. It's facing what scares you instead of avoiding it. It's cutting excess and living with simplicity. It's mastering your impulses before trying to master anything external. It's continuing when everyone else stopped. It's accepting that growth hurts. It's living as if each day mattered, because it does. Discipline isn't rigidity. It's not about being hard, inflexible, or insensitive. It's about respect for your own potential. It's about looking in the mirror and knowing you have the capacity for much more than you're delivering now. It's about honoring the person you can become instead of betraying them every day with mediocre choices. When you live with discipline, you're not punishing yourself. You're freeing yourself. Freeing yourself from regret, from frustration, from the feeling of wasting your life. Each disciplined decision is a vote of confidence in yourself. It's a silent construction of an internal foundation that no one can tear down. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject, because here's the choice you have to make now, in this exact moment. Either you follow this path, or you spend your entire life negotiating with your own weakness, negotiating with laziness, with fear, with excuses, with comfort. And every negotiation is a small defeat, imperceptible in daily life, devastating in the long term. Because each time you negotiate, you teach your brain that you're not trustworthy, that your decisions are flexible, that your commitments are optional, and gradually you become someone who doesn't trust themselves, someone who knows they'll give up when it gets difficult, someone who always has a ready excuse, a well-crafted justification for not doing what needs to be done. Musashi didn't negotiate. Daily action, facing fear, simplicity, self-mastery, consistency, acceptance of pain, urgency of living. These weren't beautiful concepts for him, they were non-negotiable behaviors, and it's exactly why he became legend, not for physical strength, but for strength of character. Comment: I choose the path. Only those who truly understood will write. And now the choice is yours. You can close this video, return to normal life, and tomorrow be exactly in the same place you are today. Or you can decide that something changed here, that you heard something that resonated deeply, and that you're willing to apply. If you made it to the end, I know you're not the average person who gives up halfway. You have something different, and that's why I want to invite you to subscribe to the channel now. Here you'll find content like this every week, deep philosophies, practical lessons, principles that really work for those willing to leave the comfort zone and walk the path of real growth. If this video made sense to you, if you felt these lessons touched something true, leave a comment saying, I follow the warrior's path. I want to know how many people really understood the message and are willing to apply it. And of course, if you still haven't left a like, do it now. This simple gesture helps the video reach more people who also need to hear this. It's literally free and makes all the difference. There's a video here on the side that perfectly complements this subject. deepening even more these principles of Japanese philosophy. Click and continue with me there, because the journey is just beginning. See you in the next video. Until next time.